All right, everyone. It's my retrospective on the Spike Lee joints. If I was doing like this kind of retrospective on TV like in the late 90s on Spike Lee and be like, yo guys, let's check out the Spike Lee movies, man. The Spike Lee joints, man. He's one of the best filmmakers to ever come out of Harlem or wherever he's from. He's one of the, and it would just be like me, basically being like a cracker, just talking about like, yo man, you gotta check out more than just Do the Right Thing. He's got all sorts of great movies, John. You know what I mean, man? And we even have interviews with Spike Lee himself, and he's just talking very seriously, like, they didn't even give me an Oscar for that. And I just was really bothered by it. Anyway, yeah, I've been getting back into some Spike Lee because a lot of his movies I've only seen once. Like a few years ago, I was really getting into him, so I saw a bunch of his movies and went over some of them again. So, yo, let's get into them right now. Yo, man, Do the Right Thing. It's gotta be the best movie ever fucking made. That shit's the greatest. Alright, we Do the Right Thing, which I get the feeling that a lot of people, when it comes to the Spike Lee joints, they've only seen this movie and Black Klansman. They have not seen Bamboozled. They haven't seen all the other classics. So those are and those two movies are great. I wouldn't say I like all. I haven't been rewatching the ones that I didn't like, so there are other ones. But anyway, we'll Do the Right Thing. Watching it again, it's just a nice. It is a great movie. I like it slightly more than the first time I saw it, but it is a great hangout movie with like a real great cast of colorful characters. I do think it's great. Like, it does sort of feel like, a hangout movie, and you kind of think like, where is this all leading to? Because there's just so many arguments and disagreements, and then the way that they're all conducted, like, there's not many agreements within the film, but a lot of them, they just seem so like sparky. It's not just like people having the disagreements. It's like they've got to be so antagonistic about it, like that fucking guy, Gus. It's the same actor as Gus from Breaking Bad, who's in the film, who's like, why you got any brothers on the wall? In like a fucking Italian pizzeria. You want brothers on the wall? Open up your own pizzeria. So, and that pizzeria owner, the Danny Aioli character, he's really the only character, just about, maybe because he's older, who isn't getting so fucking hot-headed when it comes to all these like arguments and so on. Like, he just states it plainly and just leaves it be. Whereas everyone else has got to have like such a big fucking problem. I am kind of thinking, like, what really stops me, I wouldn't say this film, it's just a cunt hair short from being a masterpiece, I'd say. It seems to be very close. Like, if what might put it into that realm is if there was a bit more pointing towards, like, it being, because the ending, the climax, is like, where there's a lot of tension going on and a lot of the big dramatic moment that culminates with a fucking riot and a broken window and all this shit. And a guy getting killed by the cops, oh no. So I wish there was just a bit more pointing in the film towards that moment. I just think that there could be a bit more going on in the story because you have, whatever the fuck his name is, Spike Lee, the character Spike Lee in the movie, who looks like a fucking 9-year-old. But it doesn't help that he dresses that way. What is it? Like, he goes to his girlfriend's house, and he's told not to be late coming back. And then he gets back, like, on time, but then the shit... I feel like there could have been something going on there just to make it seem, just in that story, a bit more intense. But at least you get that mood. At least the mood gets brought up, because even though it is a fun movie and enjoyable to watch, it's very slick. It's very slickly made and everything, and it's just it's made to be enjoyed, even though it's got all these arguments and shit. But the arguments do kind of bring up a bit of that tension that acts as the precursor for all the crap going down at the end of the movie. So at least in terms of mood, but not story, it gets like conjured up and gets you into that feeling, so that the climax works in that way. And I hear like a lot of people just say like, yo man, yo, it's really important we do the right thing to get the message from the movie. You gotta understand the message and go out there in your real life and do the right thing. But I don't really know what the pointed message is, because the film, which I think this is cool how it ends with these two quotes that come up at the end, one from MLK, one from MX, and they're very contradictory. Like MLK is saying like violence is never justified, and Malcolm X is saying that it sometimes is, and you're like, oh, right. So I think the film kind of embraces just having a not a monologue, a dialogue of having all these like different opinions coming together, and it seems to be kind of obvious what would be wrong, like people just being outright racist, being a racist cop killing a black man, yo. But I also think like we do the right thing. Like, what is the right thing? Like not playing your music so fucking loud in the pizzeria and making a big fucking noise and all this kind of shit, God, what's his name? Raheem Radio. Yeah, I don't like that guy, man. I'm not saying like it's great that he dies in the end, but like I just don't like him. I don't know if the movie's like, it doesn't affect the movie, like my enjoyment of it. It doesn't. I don't even care like if the movie wants me to like him or not. I just look at him and I'm just like, ugh, this guy walking around with his fucking boombox, and then like he seems antagonistic. He's just like causing such a big fucking scene as he does at the end. Then he gets what's coming to him. But that's a cool movie. But I'm sure you've all seen it. Why do you see it again? You can watch it on the Criterion channel. Buy the Criterion 4K Blu-ray or whatever, or fucking buy a 35mm print and play it in your own house as you're supposed to. But time to get on to lesser known Spike Lee joint. Yo man, you guys are gotta watch Bamboozled. It's the shit. This is an interesting movie. It's not one of my favorite Spike Lee movies. I wouldn't say it's better than Even Do the Right Thing or some of the other ones I might be talking about, but I think it's kind of got me. It's resonated with me the most, and in kind of a fun way, because it's his funniest movie. It seems to be clearly going for like a comedy angle without. It's very much satirical and like it's black comedy, huh? It's not, a comedy movie like the ones where it's like dog puts his paws over its eyes, that kind of thing. But there's still something very kind of snappy and comedic about it. And you can really get that feeling from the main character, Pierre. My name is Pierre Lacroix. He has like his own accent that he uses, because as people call me, I am referred to as an Oreo, black on the outside but white on the inside. So he's got like that whole thing. This movie has some. I guess I'll get into the bad things first, but like there's some satirical humps that you need to get over within the film. So the concept is that this Pierre guy is trying to get fired. So he wants to put on like an obviously racist show on his the network channel that he works for, and so he gets these two like street performers who seem to be, incredibly broke. They're just street performers, but they do well on the street. And so he gets them in to do kind of like similar stuff to what they're doing with the tap dancing, but they're also going to be doing blackface. But they're already black, so they're doing black face. And they've got this like total like minstrel looking, like they put on the blackface, they have the big lips, and they do the whole the minstrel kind of stuff that you do. And it's so damn crass and crude when you see it in the movie. But so you get that with that particular, and he tells the main network executive about this, and he loves it. He thinks it's great, so he puts it through. So you kind of think like, how is this satirical? Like no one even back in 2000 would look at this and say, like, oh, of course, we need to make a show like this, where we demean black people and take it back to the blackface minstrel era. So that kind of satire is, it breaks, doesn't bend. That's how I really feel about it, and it's kind of hard to get past. But I would say once you get past it and simply accept it, then the film really starts to work. And because I was listening to the audio commentary with Spike Lee, and he's saying stuff like the Chris Rock show, or was it something else? He might have been talking about gangster rap, and he's saying like it's the modern day blackface. Like, what the fuck? What are you saying? So maybe he's got some kind of crazy ideas about. I mean, you can kind of make some sort of sense out of it, like how white corporation takes black culture and projects it into the mainstream. Like if you're thinking about whatever gangster rap or the Chris Rock show, something along those lines, and it doesn't make it entirely authentic. They make it like they're sort of their own thing, but still comes across as like, this is black culture. Hey, Whitey, you're enjoying it? So yeah, maybe the satire is like a bit hard to chew on. But once you get through with it, I feel like the film has got a good mood, because showing this like Pierre character and like the other two guys who are doing the minstrel acts, it shows like not even in the most entirely somber and like obvious way of how like it affects them. I think it hits the right tone between like the humor and the sombriety, where one of them like really tries to get involved with it, but then starts to turn his back on what it is that he's doing. But obviously these like the show becomes a big hit, so these two guys like have a huge spike in their income, and then it backfires for Pierre because he's trying to get fired, but instead it becomes a big hit. But I really think there's something about it, like, I don't know, it's just, if you're like me and you do want like some real spiky satire, just showing full on this like minstrel shows and where they're like dancing around and doing these like kind of routines and eating watermelon and and all this kind of thing, and they got the full on authentic blackface makeup, which they tell you how it was made, and there's all sorts of things in the movie like where they start getting these minstrel props, like toys, I guess they were back in the day, and they're kind of just there. They start hanging around in Pierre's office, but then he starts having like freakouts with them a little bit. I mean, look, you don't see a whole lot of movies dealing with blackface. It doesn't come up much, and the way this film does it, it just goes super into it. It just doesn't care, and showing like the crowd, because it's like filmed in front of a live studio audience, and they're all shocked at first, like, holy shit, what is this? But then it becomes a big hit, and then like in the last time that they do one of their shows, everyone in the audience has blackface on, and they're all talking about what kind of nigger they are. like I'm a Sicilian nigger, so I got a bigger dick, I can rap better. So it's amazing, it seems like Spike Lee, to make maybe some sort of muddled point through all this, maybe the execution is better than the intent, because the intent is kind of foggy and like doesn't correlate, maybe not so much to 2000 Western culture and whatever, but especially not today with 2023 Western culture, unless you're going around saying these shows of like black people these days, or whichever, like ones that are like really targeted towards black audiences or really trying to come across as woke and diverse are the new blackface. Unless you're saying that, then a movie like this and what it's saying about TV culture doesn't vibe, doesn't jive. But it is great to see. It's just funny to watch. It's legitimate. It is like a real shocking kind of humor, and I do like that. Honestly, I do like to have some comedy that is a bit more of a jolt. It does work well. And something else that also works well is just the whole film is shot in mini DV, and that was kind of done just to save money on the budget, even though they still didn't make the budget's worth back. So, but they shot only with mini DVs, which gives it a kind of televisual look, even though it looks pretty shit on DVD, which is interesting when you watch things shot in like low quality, like mini DV or digital, early digital cameras. When you watch them on DVD or low quality, it looks particularly low quality as opposed to watching actual film and DVD quality. But anyway, that's fine enough, and it makes it look a bit clunky. But then you got the moments when they're doing the what's it called? Oh, I can't even remember the name of the show that they're actually on. I just remember the two guys' names. One of them is Man Tan. All right, and the other is called Sleep and Eat. That's offensive. Even I'm saying that. Damn, whatever the show's called, when you start seeing that, it's done with 16 millimeter. So when you start seeing it, it's got this really. When you've been watching mini DV for like 40 minutes or however long, and then it cuts into 16 millimeter. It does make it look more prominent. It makes it look more striking. I thought it was actually fucking 35. But seeing with the 16 millimeter, yeah, it does make, especially with the plantation sets that they have and how colorful they are, it does make it look all the more striking. So that does really work pretty well. And yeah, in general, the film just works good with like showing this kind of racial subjugation and humiliation that's done across television without becoming overbearing and I don't know, seeming like, again, like trying to make like a really specific point, like do the right thing. It doesn't. The only message is don't do blackface. I mean, that's one of the messages, but I think it's just a bit more of an exploration of like how black people feel they're being represented, you know, in the culture on television, and maybe not all of it works, but even if it doesn't, you just got to get over that hump, kind of just accept it, and then I feel like the rest of the film works. And I wish the satire was kind of better. I wish it was coming from a better place because the execution is so damn good that it would be one of my favorite comedy movies. Because watching it again, I was just laughing so hard. Like, there's just so many great jokes, just I guess to do with black culture and like when what are they called? The Mau Maus. A lot of their scenes are really funny. Like, you know what I mean, man? No, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, man? So good old Spike Lee. He seems to be quite prolific because just before... This was in 2000, so going back to 1999, he made a much different film. Summer of Sam, which was sort of... I don't know exactly how this was marketed. I don't really remember the film. Maybe I remember it a little bit when I was younger, actually, when it came out. Not that I saw it then. But checking out, those few years ago, and I was really blown away. And again, I'm still blown away because it is a great movie about, a serial killer. Yes, the film shows a bit of him, but the film is mostly about the community surrounding the killer. Because it just shows scenes of him, even early on, like shooting his victims, and it's like, oh no. But a lot of the film is more to do with like these Italian Americans. I'm not sure where they're hanging out in New York. Whatever, fucking Little Italy, I think. And the whole, this summer of 1977, good old fucking disco and sex and cocaine and all this kind of crap. And a bit of rock and roll too. But it's showing how the various people here are affected in various ways by the Son of Sam killing. They get told like he's coming after brunettes, so they feel like they got to wear wigs and like all this kind of thing. But then this just sometimes they kind of change their minds. They're like, one of them main character is saying, fuck the Son of Sam killers, we're out here having fun. They don't have to like be so haunted by him. And a lot of the film is kind of about this. Like, I guess it's a bit of a long film, even though it doesn't feel like it to me. But just because I get like Do the Right Thing, how it's showing these a lot of the time it's just these characters hanging out and the kind of lives they lead, and you got like all these sex scenes and all this kind of thing. But I don't think it's justified because it is showing this is what these people get up to, and it sort of feels like at any moment their lives could be taken away. The Son of Sam could get them. It could happen to them, especially if it appears that Son of Sam was targeting couples, whether it was just a couple of people or an actual couple hanging out in their car, hanging out, could be taken at any time. And spoiler alert, none of them do. None of them get killed. It just doesn't happen. But what does happen is it's showing how the Son of Sam killer starts affecting the community, especially like the older people, and they start thinking about how they got to defend their community. Then they start suspecting one of the guys, the Adrian Brody character, who's like really into punk, and he seems like, it's funny, like, yeah, he's getting really into punk. He's like acting not sort of strange, like sort of nihilistic or whatever. He's got like big weird hairdo. Same with like his girlfriend, like he's affecting one of the girls because she starts getting into it as well. And it's like, whatever, it's no big deal. It's just like, and then he's also doing what gay to like get money. He starts doing gay acts. Like he just appears on stage like acting sexy and just gets paid for that. It's like, oh, whatever. He's gay for pay in that very reasonable sense, whatever. But all these sort of things like come together and people start judging him and they start suspecting him, even though these people have their own issues that can make them seem bizarre. Like, in general, just their, like with the main character, his drug addiction, his infidelity, and how he like drags his girlfriend across like for all that as well, and just his complete instability, which is, I guess, maybe why he starts to identify with and help out his friend towards the end of the film, and like all these Italians start to really suspect that this dude is the Son of Sam based on just very general suspicions. And then it all just culminates with them like beating the shit out of him just as they find out the Son of Sam is like been arrested or turned himself in. So it's kind of got that like whole morality zhuzh to it in the end. Maybe it's kind of similar to something like Zodiac, where it shows it's like a movie about a serial killer, but it's obviously not. You know, there's enough scenes in the movie where it shows how the serial killer kind of gets that way. Well, not really. It's like, what, he's bothered by a barking dog. Oh, okay. And the summer heat. Yeah, sure, that would affect anyone. But really what the film is like showing this like tangential effect that it has on this Italian community and how it gets them paranoid and what it is that they're got, like each, like the various characters are going through. It does spend a decent amount of time on each character and what they're dealing with during this summer of Sam, which is shown through, there's two montages in particular that are set to songs by The Who, which are like so damn great, you know, like there's something about The Who that I don't even care about them as a band, but I like them in like a lot of movies. Like a lot of their songs were used for their movie, you know, Quadrophenia. That's a movie I really enjoy. I also really enjoy Litzdomania, which has, wasn't it, Roger Daltrey in it? So that's kind of Who inspired, as well as Tommy, that film as well. Again, Daltrey's in it. So it's strange. Like they seem to have this like cinematic essence to their rock music, and that's something that Spike Lee really recognizes, and he's able to throw this into these films, into the montages, and it's just done in such a great way. It's just really well all pieced together and edited, and it's interesting how The Who have had such a big impact on the kind of cinema that I watch. And I'm like, but I don't really care about listening to them at all. So I'll probably make a movie one day that's it's like based on one of their albums that I haven't even listened to. But I'm like, oh no, these songs are really great. I have all these thoughts about what to do with them. Alright, just to quickly go over some of the last ones, but 25th Hour is fucking amazing. I watched it once again. It does seem to be one of those films now where I'm really starting to, it's really in my mind, like it's not a film that I'm forgetting like all these others where I'm like, oh wait, what happened? Oh wait, that character died. Oh, I've seen this film like 3 times and I forgot. And all this kind of thing, but yeah, that's a great fucking movie. Again, a bit of a hangout movie but it's within a context. It seems like all these films have a context of like the hangout, where in 25th Hour it's about this guy who, you know, he's going to jail for 7 years. Not even that long, but but it's a federal prison. Ugh. But he's gonna be in there, and like how he's kind of like trying to leave off his life, you know. Although it's really more about just him saying his goodbyes or see you laters to like the people in his life, and then, you know, they have like kind of a party, they go to a club and whatever, and it's just, Yeah, it's just really great. Again, a really great New York movie. How he feels about the whole, how he feels about like the modern New York, which is like literally around 9/11. There's literally footage in the movie of like them looking out of an apartment and looking at the rubble of 9/11 and it being all bulldozed and cleaned up and all that kind of thing. Yeah, it's a great movie, and I especially love the fucking ending. It's just terrific how they're talking about like just before he's going into prison, like what kind of life he could be leading. So that's fucking fantastic. So that's definitely something to see. Quickly get into Clockers. I mean, that film is like a great depiction of this kind of specific area in New York where of these young drug dealers and their kingpin hanging out in like the one area, dealing with the same cops and the same detectives. I mean, it does get repetitive, and the story doesn't like have much going for it, and doesn't have like much push, really, and it kind of just goes on for quite a while. I thought I liked this more. Like I seemed to enjoy it more the first time, and the second time it seemed a bit more of a slog to get through. But it does work kind of initially, like when you're just sort of seeing like this kind of lifestyle of like these particular people, and especially with the main guy, how he's got that feeling of getting out of there. But I don't know, it's something. It's a soft recommendation. And then with Jungle Fever, which I only liked slightly less than the first time. Oh, just some quick words about this. Again, it's a very not much like with the story, and it doesn't really particularly go anywhere because it's just about a guy who cheats on his wife and she gets all pissed off. How dare you sleeping with a honky? Like an Italian woman. But that's all fine because again, it's a very exploratory movie showing like how these different people feel about like the different races, with like black people and Italians. It's really like going all over that, as well as like the infidelity and how like the women feel about like with their husbands, how they get like looked at by other women, particularly white women, and a whole bunch of things. Just a lot of like the romances and relationships and like and how that ties into the racial element of it all, like going like interracial relationships. So that's all really interesting, and it's all just got like really fantastic dialogue that's seems very real. It seems like very real people having real arguments mostly. It does have like some sort of do the right thing kind of feeling to it where it is like just a lot of arguments and heightened conversations and all this sort of thing. But again, like not much I would say of a story, but it's fine, it's just a bit more of a character piece or an ensemble piece. And it's also great with like Samuel L. Jackson in it as like the crack addict and his whole thing, even though that seems like it doesn't tie in with the rest of the movie. It does kind of feel that way, but I fucking love his scenes because he's just such a great actor in the movie. He does so damn well playing this crack addict who's like just always going up to his parents or his brother, the main character, and like trying to get that money to like score again. And there's like a great sequence where the brother goes to the Taj Mahal, which is this crack den, like the big crack den with like, and it's got this huge like shot of all these people smoking crack, and he's just coming across and just saying, I like smoking crack, it's my thing. I won't spoil it, but what kind of happens with his character, it's done well. The execution is done well, but again, like the intent behind it and how it kind of goes into the story just doesn't really gel with me so well. Still definitely a big recommendation, despite some glaring flaws, but plenty of like spectacular moments throughout the movie. So yeah, man, that's it, man, with the Spike Lee joints, yo. The Spike Lee. Oh god, I'm too tired for this kind of crap. I just go home from work anyway. So there's plenty of other Spike Lee joints that I could recommend, but I can't be bothered, man. I'm so goddamn tired. I'm so glad. You know what, man? Right now, because it's just past midnight. So now, today, whatever day it is now, is the day that I get my license back, and fucking whoop-de-doo, I can drive again. But like, I've got to get double fucked because what fucking happened is, I gotta get triple fucked actually. What happened, like, I broke one of my keys. Well, I bent it. It didn't break. So I had to, I was trying to put it in the ignition and it wouldn't go in. I'm like, oh shit. So I was trying to sort it out, trying to bend it back properly. And then I seemed to do that. But I went back to my car. My fucking car, someone like opened my doors. They didn't break in. So I must have left the fucking door unlocked. So they opened it up, took my fucking glasses, they took my aviators, cocksuckers. At least they didn't take my friend's helmet that I had in there. Ugh, it would have been fucked as well. But they took those, and they left my fucking door open, those cunts. God damn it, when you steal my shit, can you please close the car door so that my car battery doesn't fucking go out? Because I'm not going up to my car the next day and being like, oh shit, someone stole from my car, fuck. But I at least closed the door. No, I'm not going to my car for days or weeks. So the fucking thing was open for that fucking long. Cunt! God damn it, I gotta get raped up my cunt twice now. So yeah, so the fucking battery's dead now. The whole fucking thing is dead. I couldn't turn the engine, so I gotta get the fucking motherfucks over to sort that shit out. Oh, but hopefully it gets done. That's all done. I pay for that shit, and it's all finished. And I can go home and I can drive home and... But yeah, that's it. I'm done, and I can drive. I can drink and drive again. Fucking hooray! Because I can't fucking stand TransPerf anymore. God damn it, man. Even today, I was late for work because I went to the bus. I went to the bus, and I was like, oh, this is like the quickest one to get. That fucking motherfucker was 11 minutes late, and I have another bus to catch, so I missed that one as well. I mean, god damn it, man. I was like 11 minutes late for work. I think even more. I was just standing like, god damn, man. God damn, man. Oh, these fucking buses, man. Because I'm more used to, back in like the nice suburbs that I used to live in, like buses being on time pretty generally. Something that really pissed me off was that I had to take a bus, like not even that far. It's just like a 30-minute 2 bus rides. But I had to get one bus, and I had to... Like, there wasn't much time between getting off that one and getting on the other one. But I'm like, it's okay. I got like 2 minutes. I should be able to do it. And the bus actually showed up on time. So I'm like, or maybe slightly later. But I get on. I'm looking at my phone. I'm checking it. I'm like, okay, I got this. And it's just about to turn the corner. And then as soon as it turns the corner, it's going to stop. I get off. Quickly go over to the other side of the road. And I get that bus there. And I'm like, okay, I can get this done. So, as it's turning, I'm thinking to myself, I wonder what could fuck up. I wonder how this is going to fuck up. What could fuck this up, huh? And as it turns, it's heading to the bus stop. I press the bell on the bus, and it does nothing. I keep pressing it. It does fucking nothing. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, this is what it is. So I go up to the bus driver. I'm like, yo, man, you got to stop. Like, I tried pressing the button, did nothing. He's like, oh, it's went up ahead. I'm like, okay, fine, fuck. I get off at the fucking other one then. And he's heading towards the other bus stop that's like a little bit further up the road. And then I see my bus come the other way, and I'm like, oh, fucking great. That is the last bus. I can't get a fucking another one. At least I'd left with like a very fucking good amount of time before I had to get to where I had to get to. So I just have to walk for 40 fucking minutes to get this other joint. And that's the thing. That's the shitty thing. Is that if you want to get to where you want to get to on time, or even 5 minutes earlier, you got to get the bus that's 40 minutes earlier. So fuck all that, man. And I got some payback or whatever later on, because I went to where I had to get to, and then I go to the train station, and I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm like, oh, I think I got to get on the train. Oh, I don't know. And then the train shows up, and I'm like, oh, is that one? Oh, fuck, it is. So I quickly jump on. It takes off, and I've only got to go down a few stops. But then I was like, oh, shit, I forgot to tag on. I forgot to tag on for my Smart Rider. So I'm like, oh, fuck. But I look around. I don't see any TransPerf dudes. And it doesn't really look like a train where they're gonna be. Well, actually, no, it would. It does look like the sort of train that they'll be on. Like people are like, oh man, no, I don't have it. Oh, I lost my ticket and all that kind of crap. Yeah, I guess it was a dodgy train. But anyway, I'm also thinking, hopefully, the stop I gotta get off at, the train station. Hopefully, it's not one where you have to tag off and then walk through a gate. Otherwise, that means I have to tag on as a walkout, and that's going to cost like a kind of a penalty kind of thing. And thankfully it wasn't, so I just like walked out and took out my phone pretending like, oh, I forgot to tag off, or whatever kind of thing. Or that I had a ticket or whatever, I don't know. But yeah, that was a free train ride, but it doesn't make up entirely for fucking missing that other fucking bus because your fucking cunt bill wouldn't fucking works. Fuck you, Transperth. Fuck your bullshit. I'm getting my car fixed later today after I've slept. Then I can just not deal with this shit anymore. Thank fuck. Oh, I hope I can get it done. I really hope I can get it done because I can't stand this shit, man. This fucking Transperth bullshit. This is like so much my punishment. Like, if you drink and drive, this is what you get, having to deal with Transperth. So fuck me, man. At least I had plenty of Spike Lee joints to be watching on the train, because the trains take fucking 135 minutes to get wherever I gotta get to. That's how bad they are. Anyway, this has been the David Morgan episode. Spike Lee joint special. And also bitching and moaning about fucking Transperth. I am so happy. I'm so fucking happy I have it back. I can just drive. It's gonna be weird to do it again, but I'm just so happy. I gotta drive again. I don't have to do that horse shit anymore. This is so hard. It's so hard having to miss that fucking bus. The bell wouldn't work and the train doesn't show up and